taking some of these messages to the grassroots.
Yeah.
How many of these fathers are privy to this kind of shows? How many of them come online? How many of them sit on their TVs? They're somewhere in the market. They're somewhere in their shops where they don't even get, this kind of message. As much as we are doing this, can we just take this message also to the grassroots level and let these parents know that parenting is beyond just sleeping with a woman and birthing children that they will not be able to, take care of.
First time I decided to put me first, my mom did make it. I was raped. Emotionally, it's killing me.
Welcome to a place where your story matters
So ashamed.
and your struggles are met with compassion. Here, we create a space for healing, understanding, and hope. On this show, we dive deep into the heart of life's challenges, anxiety, trauma, heartbreak, and more, guided by experts, psychologists, therapists, counselors, and brave individuals who tell us the real story. Together, we'll uncover ways to navigate life's toughest moments, providing real solutions and powerful insights to help you thrive. My hope is to show you that no matter what you are facing in life, healing is possible and you are not alone. So let's walk this path of healing and growth together on the Victory Wilson Show. Hi there. Welcome to the Victory Wilson Show. It's the season 2. This show is dedicated to providing valuable insights and solutions to life challenges that we may encounter during the course of our lives. On this show, trust that we have professional therapists, psychologists, counselors to give us tips and practical steps to live a better life. My name is Victory Wilson, and on the show today, we will be treating a case centered on child labor. Now, this story was sent in from a survivor in Kwara State. Her name is Joy Oluwatoyin. I'll read the story and then we'll get right into the show. My name is Joy Oluwatoyin from Kwara State. I am from a family of 5 and my parents were adopted to Christianity. But everything changed when my dad lost his job. I was forced to live with a guardian and that's when the nightmare began. At 15, I had to start providing for myself. I worked tirelessly to pay my school fees and fend for food. My dad, who had found a new job, refused to support me, saying I was greedy for not moving back to Kwara State with him. At this time, a church brother and youth leader, Mr. D, who lived with my guardian, had also been sexually abusing me for months. He had threatened me, telling me that if I spoke up, no one would believe me. I remember the humiliation of being ridiculed by classmates for bringing rotten food to my school. There were days my dad wouldn't give me food and I would go hungry. I was forced to enter the streets to make a living. The trauma and pain I endured during this period are still raw, but I am determined to use my experience to advocate for change, especially for young girls who are suffering in silence. I know that I am not alone, and there are many young girls who are suffering in silence, forced into child labor and exploitation. Now, this experience has affected the way I live presently. Could you provide any professional assistance? Now, that's the story of Joy, all the way from Kwara State. And on the show today, to help deal with this very sensitive topic, we have a friend of the Victory Wilson Show, but above all, a mental health crusader, self-esteem catalyst, certified psychotherapist, author, speaker, who is popularly known by the name MTISH Global, but her real name is Mrs. Ayodeji Michael Oni Welcome to the show once again. I am always excited to see you. Thank you so much for coming.
You're gonna know what you do.
Thank you for always being here. And you look fresh. I've told her to tell me her secret. She doesn't want to. All right. Okay, we've heard the story of Joy Oluwatoyin from Kwara State, of how she experienced child labor, how it has affected her daily life, right now, how she relates with people, how she sees things. And she really wants people to learn from her story, heal, and also get professional guidance. Let's talk about child labor. There's a lot of psychological influence that child labor has on people. There's emotional effect, psychological effect. And how do you think that these play a significant role in the way that they decide to live their life? Because people will hear this story. She said, it has now affected the way I live my daily life. But some people will hear it and say, it has happened in the past. Why is it affecting you? Can you please just kindly shed more light on the depth of the effect of things like this when it comes to child labor? Yeah.
So it doesn't just affect them psychologically or emotionally. It also affects them socially. It affects the way they relate with people. It affects the way they, the interpersonal skill. So it's a whole lot, because the fact that she was exposed, the fact that she got on the street quite early, the fact that those things were not even supposed to be happening to her because she was quite young.
Yes,
That's
just 15.
that's the age where she's still supposed to be parented. And now she has to assume that position of parenting herself. So it's much more than we think it is. The fact that social aspect, beyond just the psychological aspect.
Yeah.
Yes, we know a lot of things affect people psychologically, but the psychological aspect of it tends to now, also affect the social aspect, where she finds it hard to trust people, and all of that.
Let's even talk about the father. The father, just because she refused to go back to Kwara State with him, for reasons that she did not explain, but I'm sure that there were strong enough reasons for a young girl to decide not to follow her father. And then he decided to abandon her. What do you have to say about parents like that? Because parenting, like is commonly said, is not just about birthing a child. It's about being able to take care of the child, take charge of the child's life till they're strong enough to stand on their own. But we have a father who abandoned his child just at age 15 because she refused to go with him to Kwara State. And we have many fathers like that.
Okay, so I believe that it's basically the question of the why and not the what. I think I've mentioned that before. So why did she refuse to go with the father? There's no relationship whatsoever. I think she mentioned the fact that her father is quite hostile, and not friendly. So that's fear. The father must have created so much fear in her that she doesn't see living with him, good enough for herself. So that's why she probably decided to stay back and not go with him. So this is the issue with a lot of parents, because 80% of all of these issues, child labor and all of it, starts from parents, and it starts from the house. Yes, because we have parents that are not acting up to their responsibilities. We have parents that, just like you said, it's just about birthing children. They birth so much children that they cannot take care of.
Yeah.
And even the ones that they can take care of, they don't prioritize these children. And so it's comes to the fact that some of these, or most of these parents that we're talking about, are damaged themselves.
Yes.
Because it takes a damaged person to damage another person. So these parents are damaged. And so as we are offering help to these children, we should not take these parents out, because some of them have younger ones. So if she has been able to scale this, probably she's the first born.
Yeah, she is.
If she's been able to scale this, there are still younger ones there. So as much as we are offering help, or we are giving help to these children, let's not forget those parents. If there's any way we can also reach out to them to offer them help, so that they don't keep hurting and bleeding on these children. Because if you hear their stories, these parents have also been damaged.
Yeah, some of them were giving birth to during the times of war. But I am of the opinion that if you are not psychologically ready to have a child, you should not have a child.
Okay. Okay.
So she said she did not go with her father back to Kwara State. I remember an experience that I had during when I lost my grandmom. We all went to the village. I'm an Igbo girl, so we all went to the village. But I never liked my father's side, the village. I didn't like the village. So I told them after the burial I was leaving. I don't know. I think I was less than 15, almost her age, or if not 15, right? And I said, I'm leaving immediately after the burial. My mom said, why? My dad said, why? I said, I just have to leave because I don't understand why I'm here. I don't like it here. I can't sleep. I can't eat. I just want to leave. Immediately after, as small as I was, my parents were not happy, but they understood that I didn't want to stay. So they asked, where will you be? Everybody's in the village. And I said, oh, I'm going to church. I'll go and stay in church. At least you will call them in church to find out if I'm in church or not. So they said, okay, since you're going to church, no problem. And they put me in the bus and I came back to Lagos. My father did not say, I'm not trying to justify my parents or say they are the best parents. They are the best parents in the whole world.
Yes, for you.
Yeah, but then I'm not trying to say that other parents do not try enough, but they understood. Parents should understand that these children that you've brought into this world, they are also their own individuals. Everyone has their own character. Everyone has what they want to be. They have their own mind. So what you should do is to support them and make sure that you take care of them. Right? So I came back to Lagos and stayed in church. So they made sure their own is where we will fight is if you are not in that church.
Okay.
So stayed in the church till they came back. And I was okay, everybody were okay. So would it have been right if my father said, oh, because you refuse? How dare you refuse? Because you refuse, you're not going to eat for 10 years. I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. Then that can be likened to child labor as well.
Sure.
That can be likened to maltreating.
No, so this takes me back to what I was saying.
Yes.
Fundamentally, a lot of parents are not educated.
Yeah.
They don't have the kind of education. Now, when we're talking about education,
I'm sorry to cut you, but mind you, till now, I still tell my father that he doesn't know how to love me the way I want to.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine? So because it's not the way I want to be loved. That
But at this level, if Joy gets this kind of love and understanding, she would appreciate it. So we are talking about parents that don't have the kind of education and exposure that is needed, to give their children the right upbringing or a balanced mental life, such that they don't get exposed too early to the things they are not exposed to. Remember in her story, she said the father has the money, but he wouldn't give her. So these are parents, and that's why I'm really particular about taking some of these messages to the grassroots.
Yeah.
How many of these fathers are privy to this kind of shows? How many of them come online? How many of them sit on their TVs? They're somewhere in the market. They're somewhere in their shops where they don't even get, this kind of message. As much as we are doing this, can we just take this message also to the grassroots level and let these parents know that parenting is beyond just sleeping with a woman and birthing children that they will not be able to, take care of.
Yes. Parenting is beyond sleeping with a woman and birthing. It goes for the mothers as well. Yes. It's beyond just giving birth to the child. You have to be in charge. So what about the society?
Good.
What role does the society have to play, when it comes to helping these people that have gone through experience of child labor reintegrate themselves? Because you've seen this from the story, she had esteem issues. She's still battling with esteem issues. And we've seen some of them that have gone through things like that. They have low self-esteem.
True.
Right? They can't even tell their stories because of stigmatization. So what role does the society have to play in helping these people reintegrate themselves back into the society, helping them live a normal life, and not just like they're passers-by?
Oh, great. So the society includes you and I. So we've got platforms, we've got opportunities that these people don't have. So can we use these platforms that we have to educate these parents? We have them in our churches, we have them in our place of work, probably as menial workers, as gatemen, as drivers, as whatever position they are occupying in our lives. Can we just not keep quiet when we sense things like that? Even if we don't sense it, the fact that we know that they don't have that much education, we can just always, just snip it in and let them know that, please, be available. Don't just be a parent that has just donated sperm, or a parent that has just accepted sperm and just birth children. So we can use our different platforms, our respective platforms, to help these parents, and educate them. Education is very important. Opening them up to the importance of being available and giving their children the best, such that they don't get exposed to child labor in life.
And child labor by extension, I want us to touch this. Child labor by extension also touches people that would take children in with promise of helping them. Joy's story was lengthy, so she sent 2 parts, the lengthy one and the summarized one. I read the summarized version. The lengthy one, I remember vividly, gave insights as to how she lived with a family that was trying to take care of her, but also put her through child labor. So child labor by extension also goes for individuals who will take on children, adopt children, with the promise, or around the premise of taking care of them, wanting to give them a better life. But when these children are now under your care, they begin to see the opposite of what you promised to them. Like, you want to send them to school, you decide not to send them to school again, start saying one issue or the other, one excuse, and then you send them to hawk. You send them to do things, you make them do things that you wouldn't even let your children do. And I think it's totally wrong. It's totally wrong. Now, for people, individuals, children that have gone through that phase, what would be your advice to them? Because now they've gone through that phase, they have survived. They are now individuals on their own. They are now trying to live a better life, having a career and all of that. But the trauma still haunts them. So are there any steps that they can take so that they can be better and live better for themselves?
All right, so we're taking 2 questions at the same time now.
Yeah, I just shared an experience, but we can even talk about, we can touch that.
Okay, so the guardians now, the people that are taking children with promises to give them, okay, so it still bounces back to the parents. My own father would not allow me to go stay with any guardian or anyone promising to give me a better life, because he knows he can give me a better life. He's in the position to give me a better life. And not because he had all the money. I remember being sent away from school many times when I was growing up. But here I am today. The headmistress of my school back then one day sent my elder sister away from school, and we were going to school. She goes earlier because she's a prefect. And we were going to school. We met her coming back, so we could come and join her. And we all went back home. And today she's in the UK. My mom went to take care of her baby and met the headmistress there.
Wow.
I said, hey, hello. The daughter, the girl you sent away from school many years ago is the one here that I came to take care of the baby. And she was like, oh, no, I'm just doing my job. I'm just saying this so that parents should know that, yes, it's their responsibility. They should go all out to give their children the best, so that we don't get to start passing our children like boys.
And allowing the children live traumatized lives.
Exactly.
No matter what, be content. I tell people, so I communicate with children as well. And then you see parents coming and saying, they can't pay school fees because then this. I said, put the child in a public school. And the child is like, I don't want to go to. I'm like, okay, the anti-victory that you admire today, I went through a government school. I went to government college, Agege, GSS1 to SS3. Although it was very hard to get admission into government college, it was one of the top schools. It was the number 1 school in Oriri, Agege then. So it's hard. You see even children of well-to-do people, commissioners come to the school. But it was a government school.
Wow.
And it even gave me more exposure than people that went to private schools. Because you're always going for competitions. I had seen Governor Raji Fashola before even people that are in private schools. That, you see, that's the exposure that it gives to you. So if you put your child in a good government school, not just anyone, a good one that you know that it's even hard to get into, it relieves the stress for you. At least your child will know. At least I never had the experience of sitting at home because of school fees. I'm talking about what you're saying. So parents should take charge and, take their children as responsibility and not just give them around. So we don't have so many broken human beings. Yes, we don't.
Not as burdens.
Yes. Now the second one.
Okay, so the second question is how do these children now stand up to, whatever they've gone through and all of that. So they need to first understand that, okay, I've gone through this thing. So as much as we're talking about educating others, we need to educate the victims themselves. Educating them even comes first because they are now the one in the situation.
Yes.
And it's really affecting them. It's traumatizing them. It has affected their living, their daily living, and their interpersonal relationship with others. So they need to get that education to know that what has happened has happened. It wasn't in any way Joy's fault that her parents lost their job, that dad lost his job, and they had to relocate to Kwara State. She had to stay back with those persons, that promised to give her a better life and all of that. So that education would help her to internalize the fact that it wasn't in any way her fault that she went through all of that. Number two, she needs to speak out, and she has done that.
Yes.
She has done that. Speak out, share your story, use your story to help others. I read that she's also doing an initiative that helps young girls. Yes, that would further strengthen her, to be able to stand for herself. And thirdly, she needs to continue to seek help because it's not a destination like I used to say.
A journey.
It's a journey. There would always be triggers every day. The fact that you feel that you've healed and you're doing something for yourself, you would even hear stories of girls that would bring about trigger for you. There are stories that she would listen to that are so similar to what she went through, and it would always come back. So she needs to continue to seek help, further help, bigger help, because she has now become a source of help for others, but she needs to seek for bigger help from platforms where she knows that she would continue to get that help to strengthen her to be able to stand for herself and stand for the girls she's now helping.
Yeah. And those that have not gotten to the level of joy that are still going through, what can they do? Whenever that trigger comes.
Trigger is very, very hurtful. I must say, because I've had my own triggers. I still have my triggers, and
as humans.
yes.
So what do you do when your trigger comes? When your trigger triggers? What do you do? What are those steps? So I just need steps for them.
Support system. I have a solid support system. I have support systems. I have my own therapists, so when my trigger comes, before I go to my therapist, I have a closer person. I have a support system.
Who's your closer person?
That's my husband.
Your husband. Okay.
That's why in therapy we tell people to have a support system. Your support system can be your friend, a very trusted close friend. Your support system can be, we don't always advise a pastor because pastors have so many things in their hands and they might treat your case like any other spiritual issue, except pastors that have the psychological understanding of the effect of these things. So you're like, okay, start casting out one demon that doesn't
exist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when your triggers happen, just run to your support system. Okay, this is how I'm feeling now. I just saw something. You probably saw a movie that is bringing about that's, is bringing everything. It comes like flashes and everything comes back to you as fresh as it happened when it first happened. So run to your support system. Don't keep quiet because what you battle.
Yes, so, what you battle.
Yeah, don't keep quiet. Just speak out. Oh, I'm sensing this thing. I'm remembering what I went through that caused me this hurt, this pain. That way you are able to let it out, explain it, then seek help. If that is not helping, if whatever your support system has done is not helping in any way, you can talk to your therapist. But before you even get to a therapist, if you're someone that doesn't have a therapist or cannot afford a therapist at the moment, you need to find ways to ease out those pains. So for some people, they love music. I love to dance. So that's one way.
I've never seen you dance.
So I can dance from today to tomorrow.
My God.
I was dancing in the labor room. Yes.
Wow.
It was a scene. I was dancing in the labor room because I don't want to cry. So dancing is quite therapeutic for me. I dance a lot. So whatever can ease you at that moment when the trigger comes up, just make sure you do it. Sing, exercise, go out, see a movie, do makeup. So I saw a lady that said doing makeup is therapeutic for her.
Wow.
Yeah, she just sits and does makeup. She will do it and clean it again. So whatever makes you feel good at that time, make sure you do it so you ease the pain.
You ease the pain. Fantastic. Then we talked about understanding. You said something about understanding you don't really advise pastors because some of them may not have that understanding. And then you talked about having a close person that, understands. And it's very frustrating most times when you've gone through pain and you're trying to explain. Sometimes I go through frustrating situations and I'm trying to tell the closest person to me, well, this is what happened. And the person is asking me questions that are upside down, like, what are you saying? So it's frustrating when you don't have someone that understands. So there are people like that that don't have people that understand around them. What can they do?
That's very paramount because you're right. Not everyone understands.
Yeah.
There are people that trivialize things, and it's so annoying.
Very annoying.
When you're trying to pass across a very huge message, especially one that is affecting you psychologically, issues of the heart, and someone is trivializing it, making it look like it's nothing, So one way to deal with that, if you see the person is not understanding, you can go to the social media. So there are social media platforms where you can, put things out and they offer help. Though that is also very sensitive because you need to be careful so you don't tell your story or you don't try to get help from
wrong places.
Yeah, you will not get help and you become more frustrated. But there are some, I wouldn't want to talk about them, but I know that you can go to, at that time and just put it out or send a DM to someone. You can get help from social media.
Sometimes I think you can just journal or when you feel like nobody understands, just find something. So when I'm going through that, I just sleep. I'm like, see, you know what? Nobody understands. Don't worry. Them just.
That's why I talked about doing whatever eases you. Whatever
I just
makes
sleep,
you feel
and when I
good.
wake up, I know that I'll be fine.
True. Sleeping for
Funny
you
enough.
is probably therapeutic.
I don't sleep when people sleep. I sleep when I am. So now I can stay from now to tomorrow and not say because I'm working.
Okay.
Right? I sleep when I feel like I've gone through a lot and there's nobody that can understand. I'm trying to explain and then you are making it look like I'm going through a normal thing. It's not normal. I'm going through a lot. And then like, see, nobody understands. Let me just sleep.
Good. So
Yeah,
sleeping
most
could be a
times.
therapeutic thing, for you.
Yeah.
Yes. So people need to understand that sleep can be a therapy too. Drinking
Yes.
water can be a therapy.
Yes.
Yes. So whatever works for you. I didn't want to mention journaling because as much as we prefer journaling as a solution, journaling does not work for everybody.
Yes, it doesn't. It doesn't work for me.
It has never worked for me
It
too.
doesn't work for me.
I love to journal. I tell people to journal. I understand the importance of journaling. But my temperament wouldn't allow me to sit down to start writing. I only write to produce, to publish. That's what I write for. But to sit down and start writing, I had a bad day today, somebody slapped me in my dream. No.
It doesn't work
It
for
doesn't work for me.
everybody.
I love to talk.
And acceptance helps us heal.
True.
So most times, most of the things that we go through, apart from things that are inflicted on us by people, our mindset. I told you I went to a government school, so it was a constant thing to see despite the fact that they were children of well-to-do people, they were also children of people from less privileged homes. So you see people that they're hustling to leave school at 2 to go and hawk. You're leaving school and then you're seeing them hawking in their school uniforms and all of that. It's child labor. And sometimes they have no choice because their house helps to somebody. That's why I mentioned it. People that would take children and say they're promising them a better life. But at the end of the day, you're making them worse than how you picked them.
True.
So when we've gone through that, you're now older, you have a chance at having a better life. You have to accept that you went through child labor. Accept. That was your experience. Was there anything you could have done to change that? Nothing. Was there anything you would have done differently to influence the things that happened around? Come on, you're from an underprivileged home. There was nothing. Joy, was there anything you could have done to make your father change? Your dad lost his job already. So there was nothing you could have done to help you.
He was probably also damaged.
He was also damaged.
No better. Yeah.
There was nothing you would have done to change it. So we need to accept that.
Yeah.
That's the first step, I think.
Yes.
Is there to healing. When you accept, then your mindset changes and then you begin to flourish. Are there people who have gone through child labor that are well-to-do now? Please ask Google. You will see a lot.
I'll search them out.
You would see a lot and then use them as guideline. But for understanding pain, which is my focus, I feel like that's like the grassroots of therapy, trauma, and healthy living.
Yes.
Understanding goes a long way to help people heal. So to wrap this up, what would you say to people that are watching the show now, that are going through pains that people cannot understand? How can they help themselves?
Now you just said people cannot understand, because there are actually a lot of pains. In fact, most of the pains no one would understand. All of the pains,
Yeah.
because no one is in your shoes. No one understands what you're going through at that point. We only try to understand. That's why even as therapists, because this is our profession, we are empaths. We're able to empathize with people because we put ourselves in their position. We try to, read your story and we paint a picture, to make it so real. But the truth is, you are your first therapist. You are the one that can offer yourself the first help. And how do you do that? Just like she said, accept the reality of whatever has happened to you. It has happened. No matter how I tried to deny that I was pregnant, I was pregnant. The pregnancy was there. And so whatever it's your situation happened. And it's still there, staring you in your face. So you need to accept that you went through all of that. You need to talk to yourself. There's this self-help that I prefer to people. The self-help is talk to yourself. It's called self-critical talk in therapy. Talk to yourself. Tell yourself it's okay not to be okay. It's okay that I feel this thing. It's okay that the triggers would come once in a while. It's okay that I feel pain, I feel hurt. Probably if I had not gone through this thing, I'll probably be in a better place. But look at yourself. Are you in the worst place? If you're not in a better place, are you in the worst place? The fact that you're not in the worst place now shows that you can still become better. So be your own first encourager. Encourage yourself. Talk to yourself. Tell yourself good things. Be optimistic. Don't be pessimistic. And that way, when help eventually comes, you will be able to accept and open up to help.
Thank you so much. Be your own first therapist, because you are first your own therapist before anyone else.
True.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the insights. I hope that the conversations that we've had with the one and only MTISH Global has gone a long way to help you, Joy Oluwatoyin, giving you more insights. I like that you are already holding an advocacy. You're doing an advocacy for people that have gone through child labor, that have gone through rape. It's beautiful. I think you should keep doing that. And for everyone who has not gotten to the position of joy yet, first of all, accept you've gone through that. I'm so sorry you had to go through that, but life happened. You're not going to let it dictate the direction of your future. Please put all that we've discussed here into practice, and you will get real healing. Thank you so much once again for being on the show. Thank you for staying tuned. All right. Please practice everything we've learned on the show, and I'm sure that you'll get real healing. Till I come your way again on another episode treating a fantastic life issue. My name is Victory Wilson. You deserve the very best. Never settle for less. Your mental health matters. Bye.